I lived in New York, in Flushing, in an apartment after it got cold. We lived on the yacht uh, called the Gospel Ship. We had taken the Gospel Ship from Miami up the Intercoastal Waterway, stopping at port cities to do concerts, to advertise Bibletown, USA, and the Protestant and Orthodox Pavilion at the World's Fair in New York. Well, we had been living on the yacht, and then when the weather got so cold, we moved to an apartment in Flushing, which was virtually outside the fair, about 100 yards. And it was amazing that you could literally walk to the fair, but it was very cold weather, and it was actually easier to walk to the fair than to do it any other way. But one day, my son Rick had run into somebody in the fair that had a big black limousine, and he was waiting for his owner to come out of some pavilion at the fair. And Rick knew that I was due, shortly. So he talked that guy into driving the limousine around to the entrance where I would come in, and giving me a limousine ride to the Protestant Orthodox Pavilion, which was fun. But I couldn't believe he did that, no tip, no nothing, just talked him into it. He was 11, I think, at the time. While we were living in New York, we would often drive into the city, to do something special, because after all, we were in New York and we couldn't work all the time. One of those drives went by a lot of low-income housing, and they were tearing some of it down and building new lower-income housing, and it was going to be fabulous. And all of us who saw it were pleased to see that they were, rehabbing for those people. One night we had a New Yorker with us, and he said, yes, that's wonderful what they're doing, and all the taxpayers are paying for it. But you wait, within 3 months, it'll be just like the other was. They just do not know how to take care of anything. And we couldn't believe that. But sure enough, we stayed there 8 months. And within 3 months, there were literally plumbing fixtures out in the yard, toilets out in the yard, brand new. You wonder, what in the world, what is the purpose of that? Why wouldn't you want it where it belonged? And there were things torn out of the building that were but that's what happens when people have no education, or they get on drugs, or they get on alcohol, and they need more of that. They will do anything to get money to do more of that, tear out air conditioning. It's just, it was unbelievable to me. But, little by little, people get into those situations. I am amazed that on one of the Facebook posts was a Marine, and he was talking about life, and he said, the first thing you need to do in life is make up your bed. Huh? Well, I thought that was wonderful, but I was a little shocked. And the thing is, he was talking about self-discipline, disciplining yourself to do the right things. I go out to my mailbox, which is kind of a chore. I have to walk away. Sometimes I drive. I literally drive up to the door of the box and pull it out while I'm in the car. But I'm supposed to walk outside, so when it's not cold, I will walk to my mailbox. And for the last 2 days, there's been a great big piece of white paper in my yard that somebody from the street, threw out the window, or it blew out of the back of a truck or whatever. But I have not gone over that far in the yard and picked it up. I figured the wind would blow it away. But for 2 days, the wind has not blown it away. So today when I go to the mailbox, I'll take my little grabber thing, on a stick and pick it up and put it in the trash. When I lived in Ripley, we lived in a cul-de-sac. Lackey Lane at that time did not have an opening to any other part of the city. It was a big circle. And I would find in my yard beer cans. I mean, this was a fairly exclusive neighborhood. And I would think, who in the world would just open their car window and throw out their beer can in somebody else's yard? So, of course, the minute I would see it, I'd go pick it up and put it in the trash. And I'm amazed at how many parents do not require their children to clean up after themselves. My mama used to say, brilliant woman, what if everybody did that? What if everybody left their napkins on the floor? What if everybody, true, we would be living in a messy world, and we are already, because people don't recycle. They throw their water bottles in the ocean. Little bitty fish go in the nozzles of those bottles, and then they cannot get out as they grow, and they are killed. And it's we as Christians, if we can be sweet about it and kind about it, we can make a difference. When I see a mask in the ground at the grocery store, first of all, I'm disgusted with the person that did that. But that's not my call. My call is to try to fix it. So I go to my car and get something I've left in the car myself, like a Chick-fil-A sack and a napkin to pick it up with. And I pick it up and put it in the Chick-fil-A sack and take it to my car and roll it up. And when I get home, I put it in the trash. That's what's happened to us a lot in our world. People are not willing to help others with their discipline problems. And we're not willing to take the burden of someone else on ourselves. I dig it. I understand it thoroughly. But we're going to have to. We're going to have to set an example, or our younger people are going to be far worse than we are. Whoever left that mask on the ground is probably a grown-up buying groceries with money and cents to go buy groceries and pay for them. It could have been a child, but more than likely a grown-up person threw that mask on the ground. Please, please help me. Pray for people who have no training and no education and no guidance. I find myself getting so angry at people. And then I realize they've not been trained. They've not had anybody show them how to do it. They've not had anybody say, no, that's wrong. Don't do it that way. If we can, in kindness, direct people to be clean, to be sanitary, not to be ugly about what, it's like they're saying, okay, I've protected myself, now there you go. We've got to get right in this world. And one of the best ways to do that, of course, is to be a Christian and then act like one. Sometimes it's hard for me. I'm a Christian. I've been a Christian. Let's see, I was 9. I'm about to be 92. Been a long time. 83 years. Is that right? A long time I've been a Christian. And I still have trouble acting like one sometimes. we need to follow the label we take. You know, if we're going to label ourselves as Christian people, then act like one and smile. God bless you today.